Da-da-da-da. What up, folks? It's your boy MMG Smurf here, and today I'm announcing our very first Gods Unchained tournament. Yep, Money Match Gaming is holding a Gods Unchained tournament. It's actually this weekend, April the 10th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So get ready. The prize pool will be determined by our social media engagement. So we're going to have a base prize pool of $20, and then the rest of it's going to be determined by you. So spread the love and the word around about this tournament. Actually, saying that, I'm going to go over here really quickly. Oops, wrong one. Boom, cool. And we're going to launch this thing. So there's the boost to it. That social media post right there. We'll also promote that on some other channels. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. But start right there. We know there's a lot of the Gods Unchained family on Twitter. So there's that information. Before I jump into, I want to also make this a video where we talk about how to play the game. But before we jump into how to play the game specifically, I want to show you where to go to sign up for this event. So this event can be found on smash.gg, which is a website that we use regularly at Money Match Gaming. So here we go. I'm going to go over to my Lappy Tappy over here. This is smash.gg. And if I go to the homepage of this, to show you what the homepage looks like. So here's the homepage of the event. You can see that event image at the top. Scroll on down to get some information about the event, the rulings. Here's some information about Money Match Gaming's Discord. We have a very special Discord where it's actually a play-to-earn Discord. We're probably one of the first people to actually do a play-to-earn Discord because our play-to-earn Discord's been around since like 2019. And so that means we've started building it in like 2018. So it's really early in that regards. But yeah, you just get your information here. And if you have any questions about how to sign up for Money Match Gaming's Discord or how our play-to-earn mechanisms work and stuff like that, feel free to DM me, Smurf, in Money Match Gaming's Discord, or watch all these lovely tutorials that we have here that cover a lot of that information. The last tutorial that you'll see here in the bottom right corner is for Wax wallets. So we distribute our NFTs on the Wax blockchain. We do that for a few reasons, because number one, we love Wax just because it's an eco-friendly blockchain, as they say, carbon neutral blockchain. Once you have a little bit of Wax staked over there, all the transactions become free. And even if you don't have any over there staked, you can still get away with some free transactions. So, and it's really easy to hold a token or NFT over there. Also, it's really easy to create a wallet over on the Wax blockchain. You can use your different social media that you already have, or your email address if you have a Gmail, and use those to create your wallet. And it's like the easiest wallet creation that I've seen in blockchain. So we also chose it for those reasons, just to make it as easy as possible for our audience, because a lot of people that are coming into blockchain gaming aren't total like crypto DeFi degens and really that familiar with the space. And so we wanted to make it as easy as possible to help transition people into this part of things. So there's all that information. Now that we got that out of the way, I do want to take a moment to actually go before, and we'll talk about the game a little bit. But first I wanted to show off the game a little bit. And I'm going to play this how to play the game tutorial of the game. And I'm going to talk over it a little bit. But right before we do that, I actually wanted to, let me see if I have it up still. Actually, I don't know if I have it up anymore. I was going to show a little bit of Hearthstone. Here, we're going to do it anyways. Let's go over here. And I'm going to show you guys some Hearthstone, because I feel like that's the easiest game to check out and see, oh, this is kind of what Gods Unchained is like. So, what was it? Okay, this is the first video that I saw up on Hearthstone. And I'm going to put this at 2x speed. But you can get a feel of what Hearthstone is. I'm not going to play too much of it, but you get the style of the game, right? And so a lot of people have already seen Hearthstone. It's a very popular game made by Blizzard. Now, let's check out Gods Unchained. So here's Gods Unchained. You can already see the similarities between Hearthstone and Gods Unchained. However, with Gods Unchained, you're going to choose a god. And there's one of 6 different gods that you can choose. Here's that mirror of gods. Then you'll choose a god power. And each god has a different selection of god powers that you can choose. It'll help you in battle as you're playing your cards. After that phase, you'll go through a mulligan phase. And this just means you're choosing your starting hand of cards and removing other cards that you might not want. You'll notice in the top left-hand corner, they just highlighted the mana cost of each card. So I'm going to pause it right there. And it has to do with mana, probably because, one of the reasons I'm guessing they chose that wording of mana is If I go to the Gods Unchained website right here, you can see led by Chris Clay, who's the former game director of Magic the Gathering. So Magic, and then they have Magic the Gathering Arena. So let's keep going through this. So next thing they're showing is the mana wheel in the bottom left-hand corner. As turns progress in the game, so when the arrow flips back and forth to both players, a turn will progress, and you'll get one more mana crystal. And you need those mana crystals to play a card. And you can see that right there. And this is an older version of the game they're showing, but it's still very accurate. So click on that switch. It'll end your turn and give it to your opponent. Now you can see that mana wheel filling up with different mana amounts. The first 5 turns, it takes 1 turn to fill up a mana crystal. After that, so 6 and 7, it takes 2 turns. And then after that, it takes 3 turns. And then after that, it takes 4 turns. So on 8, it takes 3 turns. And then on 9, it takes 4 turns to actually fill up another mana slot. So that's your 8 mana and 9 mana for those really strong cards. So now they're going to show you the differences of all the cards. They started off with the mana at the top right. Then your health is in the bottom right corner. And your attack is in the bottom left corner. And then there's information in the middle of the card as far as the details on what that card might be able to do. So you can just get an idea of the gameplay flow. Whenever you destroy a card or you attack your opponent successfully, you hit the opponent's god, which is what you need to do to win the game. You take their health all the way down to 0. You actually earn these points called favor, and you can use those favor in that left-hand column that they just popped up. I'm going to go back to it. So you can use the favor in this area over here on the right side of the screen, which is called the sanctum. And you can see 9 favor is what they're saying this person has. And that favor is also visible. If I go back a little bit farther, down in this right-hand corner, it'll be attached to your name. This has been built out a little bit more. Again, this is an earlier build of the game, but now you can see the favor like right on this part of the screen here. You can see how much favor you have instead of it just displaying right here where it says 3 favor for you and 6 favor for your opponent. It'll be down here on your screen now, and it'll also have your name. So let's go back. You can, after you have enough favor, you can choose a card over in the sanctum, and this is just a way of like pulling cards out of a shared deck in the game. So they're playing that sanctum card, and then just want to explain the god powers, which is what they're doing right now. And so you choose those god powers at the very beginning of the game. Those god powers do cost mana, and so when you're managing the cards that you lay out, that might cost 1, 2, 3, 6 mana to lay out a specific card. As you can see in this person's hand, they have a 5 mana in the grayed out area, and a 4 mana and a 1 mana. And the god power is also 1 mana, so lay out different cards and also manage that as well. It's just showing the ability of that god power and going forward with it. All right, cool. So that's kind of all I want to show there. That's pretty much the whole tutorial that they have for you. We're going to go to the Gods Unchained website for just a second. This is where you would sign up for the game. So visit godsunchained.com. This is a free-to-play game that is somewhat off-chain. So some of the game is off-chain, which means it's not on the blockchain. And then some of the game is on the blockchain. The part of the game that's on the blockchain is to do with the NFTs. And so after you've earned enough cards or duplicates of cards in the game, and you've earned these points that they call Flux, as well as the Gods token. So they recently launched a token called Gods. This is that Gods token. So it's a token on the market. So you can earn this token, which is one way that people earn money. And then you can also, if you earn the Gods token and Flux, you can actually mint NFTs into the game. And so that'll be like similar, like when you think of like a Pokemon game or something like that, how they have times where they might mint more Charizard or Pikachu cards or something like that. There's got to be a process of them minting more cards at a facility somewhere, right? Well, instead with this game, there's no big facility for them to mint the cards at. Players of the game mint the cards, and they choose when they mint the cards. And so if you get a bunch of duplicates of cards, then the players individually get to choose, okay, I'm going to mint some of these cards and put these in a rotation, and maybe I want to sell these cards. Otherwise, when a player earns a card, it's just going to be off-chain, and it's going to be in their like personal inventory. It's not actually an NFT. They can't sell it until they get a duplicate of that, take some Flux and some Gods token, burn those two. So that means, bye-bye to your Flux and bye-bye to some of your Gods tokens, and then you mint an NFT into the blockchain that you can then sell or trade to another player and increase the number of those cards in circulation. So that's how that works out. As far as the trading and selling of those cards, the websites to do that is our market.immutable.com. GUDEX.com. This is a Mutable X, which recently partnered with GameStop. I know GameStop also partnered with Loopring recently. I'm not sure if that means that they did something with the Mutable partnership, but here it is. This was the first layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum, actually. And so here you can see some people listed a card. This card is, 3 cents. And yeah, this is what this card is listed for. But if we were to scroll through, you could just see a whole bunch of different cards that people list. I think I always have mine unlisted on low to high. And if we change that, just because people like money, they like to see big numbers, you can see high to low. And so some of these cards are listed at insane amounts. Like nobody's going to pay that many Ethereum. Nobody has that many Ethereum to give you, person. But you can just see these different amounts being listed. I feel like sometimes people are just hoping that somebody slips up or doesn't know how to navigate the menu and just clicks on one of those higher price ones. So this is the main marketplace. Another third-party marketplace is called Token Trove. So here's Token Trove, and you can see the list of games, again, that you can find on Token Trove. There's TikTok. A lot of people are familiar with TikTok. You'd hit the Gods Unchained section, and you'd be able to, I need to push browse properly. Browse and then Gods Unchained, but then I'd be able to browse through the different cards. Other than that, on this website, you can also use this website to send tokens to different people. So this is the website where you can't send tokens and transfer cards to people on the Immutable X one for whatever reason yet. I guess they just have to develop that. But you can do it over here on this website. And I forget if it's like clicking this section or clicking this. I'm not really logged in my wallet right now or on this. I know it's saying it is, but it's not. But this is a website where you could go to do that. And if you're really interested about that, just comment, like, subscribe to this video, and I'll actually make a tutorial for doing that specifically. All right, so last two things that I want to include in this little video is that if you're looking to build a deck and getting better at this game while you're playing throughout this week leading up to our event or to any of our other events, maybe you're catching this in the future, you can go to this website called GUDEX.com, and I suggest this to all new players and players that just want to advance whatever. GUDEX.com, a great website to go to, and you can click this meta section. You really want to click meta. Pretty much ignore all these other ones and just click meta, and then you can find individual player stats. If you want to find out your own stats or top players, you can click that. Or more likely, you want to build up your own deck, right? But you can steal other people's decks too by looking at their decks and taking things that you like. But you want to click on top decks. And with top decks, you can sort this by the rank of a player. So the lower rank all the way up to Mythic. Mythic is the highest rank. Gold up to Mythic, or just straight up start at Mythic. So start at the highest rank. Then you can also section it out by the god that you want to play. So I usually play nature, but you could choose death or deception or light or magic. I usually play nature, so I'm going to click nature. So now I've filtered it by nature and by the highest rank, and I'm looking at decks of nature and the highest rank that do well. And so it's telling me this deck right here has an 88% win rate out of 25 matches. Average turns is 8.3 turns, and the cost of this deck was 0.15 Ethereum. That's kind of costly. So I'm going to continue to look for a cheaper deck, and so I can push this estimate button. It's going to tell me, right now it's doing the highest cost deck, which is 0.2 ETH, and the lowest cost deck at Mythic for nature is 0.01 Ethereum. So that's a lot cheaper. That's probably 1% of what, like 3,000? Was it like $300? Is that 300? Is that 300? I don't know if that's 300 or 30. Let's because I'm like ditzing on the math right now. Let's look 0.015. I'm not gonna do the math in my head right now. I'm not. Somebody's like, wow, why won't you? $52. So I was gonna be off regardless because I was thinking in the 30 range. It's about $52. I was kind of right with the $30 guess. But that's how much the cheaper decks that you could expect to get into Mythic would cost if you were to do that. And so when you're seeing that cost associated with the deck too, you have to factor in that some of those cards you can just play the game and earn those cards, or what they're factoring as far as price is how much those cards go for on the marketplace. So after they've been turned into an NFT and they're listed on the marketplace, that's how much that total deck is potentially worth. And so, again, this site is GUDEX.com. You can also see in the top left corner, they list a bunch of different streamers that are currently streaming the game. So wonderful website. And the last thing that I want to mention was just the Twitch community for this game. So there's usually somebody online streaming the game. There's an end we just saw, actually. So usually somebody's online streaming the game. But there's not usually a whole bunch of people streaming the game, which makes it a pretty tight-knit community where if you're looking to start off streaming or you're a smaller streamer and you're looking to build up a community, this is probably a pretty good place to go where you can actually stream a few times a week, visit other streamers, as always, within a smaller streaming community or smaller streaming community, and you'll probably end up gathering quite a nice little audience. And so that's just a little tip there as far from my marketing heart and stuff like that. That's as far as that goes. But yeah, that does it. That list Money Match Gaming's Gods Unchained wrap up. Hopefully we see you at our tournament this upcoming weekend, and probably every other week in the following weekends. The first through third place will earn trophies, NFT trophies, which have utility at Money Match Gaming events as far as boosting your personal prize pool. And then first through third will also be earning rewards, so actual cash or crypto really, because we can get away with crypto finally. Yeah. So there it is. See you guys in the next one. Your boy Smurf out.